What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on Arrow Season 5 Episode 22 Missing, which is the second to last episode. Before I go into this video, I just want to say, don't worry guys, I've got so many videos planned for the 5-month break, so don't be worried guys, I've got lots of things planned. Anyway, let's get into this review. So this week's episode was called Missing, so it was pretty much self-explanatory what was going to happen. So Oliver, Lance, Thea were kind of celebrating like they've won something, because obviously Adrian Chase is now in a prison. So they think they're in control, but they're not really. So it started off pretty funny. Oliver was going to Felicity's house for some kind of date. I'm not really sure where they're going into. And it looked like he was broken into, but it wasn't. They were throwing a party for him, and then he throws Mr. Terrific over his shoulder and he lands on the floor, which is really hilarious when you think about it, because Mr. Terrific is meant to be a superhero, but he's pretty useless. And Oliver's birthday cake, Green Arrow, pretty awesome cake. And it looks like, I don't know, it's almost like they're throwing some shade at Oliver, Felicity getting back together. Are they trying to set up a love triangle for next season with Laura Lance from Earth 2? I don't know what they're doing. They need to kind of just end Felicity or get back together, not stay in the middle just to kind of fan service to fans. I feel like that's what they're doing with Oliver and Felicity still. So we get some pretty neat flashbacks and flashbacks of flashbacks whilst we're in flashbacks with Kovar, which is quite interesting, which is obviously building up to the fight with Kovar in flashbacks in the finale next week. So that will be rather interesting. So Mr. Terrific goes to Dinah's house, as she's kind of been missing for a while, the same as Renee, and it ends up being Artemis and BlackSiren are slowly capturing everyone from Team Arrow, which is kind of obvious. I said this would be a case like weeks ago, so it's nothing kind of unusual. And then we got Oliver and my boy John Diggle doing some recon, and initially they thought it's Talia al Ghul, but it turns out to be Artemis and BlackSiren. So Kovar injects Oliver with something that gives him memories of every scar and every pain that he's ever felt just by touching a certain scar, which is a pretty badass kind of drug to induce anyone with. So then it's Lance. I always call him Lance. It's Quentin Lance, and Thea's turn to get taken. So this is where BlackSiren rocks in for the first time, and Quentin thinks it's his daughter. But it's kind of a sad scene and a kind of interesting scene, as you can tell that there's a lot of chemistry there, and that this version of Laura Lance still cares for Quentin, because even though they're from a different Earth, her dad would still be a version of Quentin Lance. And then Artemis comes in and hits him with some kind of poisonous dart, knockout dart, which knocks him out for a while. So it's quite obvious throughout this whole episode where the narrative was going. So Oliver kept visiting Adrian in the prison, and he kept saying, "You're going to do what I want, you're going to do what I want." And eventually he did what he wanted. So it was kind of interesting. And we got kind of a snippet of what most likely is going to be a big part of the season finale next week, as BlackSiren did say it was part of her deal with Adrian Chase, Simon Morrison, Prometheus, whatever you want to call him, that he kept Quentin Lance safe. So I think probably towards the end of next episode there's going to be some BlackSiren redemption arc. As we know, she's a season reg for next season, so I guess Oliver's going to try and make it good, which could be kind of interesting if they're going to keep her there like long term. So then we get the return of Malcolm Merlin, the Dark Archer, which is pretty insane having him back. So Felicity and Diggle get into a car crash set up by the League of Assassins, it looks like, and then they crash the car and basically get taken. So everyone's getting shipped out to Liangyu. This was kind of obvious from the trailer. I don't know if anyone picked up on that. And then Malcolm explains exactly what Prometheus is doing. He's only here to save his daughter. But it's interesting that Malcolm's willing to work with Oliver. So then we get Shadow's dad Yofei in flashbacks telling him not to give up, and you can see where this is going. So then we get the end game of Adrian Chase. Oliver finds out that somehow Prometheus found William, even though Felicity, who has been a crazy hacker from at least like season 2, she couldn't find him, but somehow some random guy called Simon Morrison found Oliver's son, broke BlackSiren out of jail initially. So yeah, we need some more kind of backstory. So we do find out that BlackSiren got broken out via an Argos agent getting blackmailed by none other than Artemis. A lot of people want Artemis to be killed off, but personally, I really like the character. So Chase said as soon as he gets on that plane, if he's not free, it's endgame. He's gonna tell his friends to kill Oliver's friends, which is kind of interesting. So Oliver lets him go, and he's like, "I'll see you on the boat." And then eventually they work out where they need to go, and it's Liang Yu, which is kind of obvious. Everyone knew that. Oliver must have known this is what everything was building up to, seeing as the pilot episode was on Liang Yu. And then Nyssa rocks in, and she's like, "All right, husband." Well, she didn't say that. She's like, "Husband," which is really hilarious. Then like Merlin was like, no. But it's all about Thea, so eventually he's going to work with her, which will be quite insane. I'm quite looking forward to like the next episode, even though the trailer didn't look that good, in my opinion. And then eventually we get Laura Lance in a flashback of a flashback saying, "I want you home, I want you home." Then he shoots with the one bullet he's got and gets out of the prison cage that he's in. So obviously this is going to build up some massive fight between Oliver and Covart on the island in flashbacks. So then we see Chase, and we see BlackSiren, and we see Artemis. Then we see everyone who was captured except for Dinah and Renee. I mean, they're the only two that kind of have some skills at this team. Well, not really Metatheme, and Wild Dog's just a loose cannon with guns, and obviously Dinah's got a kind of fake canary cry. But the thing that kind of annoyed me about this is Thea is a badass. So how does she get taken so easily? I understand how Mr. Terrific, Lance, and Felicity and Diggle got taken so easy, but how did Thea get taken so easily? Then Mr. Terrific goes to Adrian, "You suck." Then he's like, "Do I really?" It's just kind of trying to preempt what's really coming. And then Thea's like, "Oliver's going to find you," and he's like, "I'm counting on it." So what's interesting is Oliver's rocked up onto the NU pretty fast, and he says, "Slade, I need your help." Then he's like, "Why did he come back, kid?" So yeah, Deathstroke's actually back, and we're getting the actual person with his face and not just someone in a suit doing voice acting, which is kind of interesting because there was a lot of confusion about whether or not we were actually gonna get a real version of Slade Wilson with the actual human body. I know that sounds a bit weird, but obviously in the episode Arrow 100 we had a step in Deathstroke that was fucking useless, to be honest. He was nothing like Deathstroke. You could tell it wasn't the real Deathstroke, or at least it wasn't even the real Deathstroke stunt double, because obviously Slade Wilson Manu Bennett doesn't do all of his own stunts, but obviously you could tell it wasn't the usual person that does the stunts for Manu Bennett. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comments down below what you think. Obviously, I can't comment back to all of them because that's classed as spamming on YouTube, but I'll comment back to a few of them. But obviously, if you got any thoughts or theories or whatever, just send me a tweet or an Instagram. Links are in the description box down below, and I will catch you in another video, which will be it's gonna be another Flash video, another Arrow video, then a Flash Rebirth DC 2016 issue 22 button part 4 video that'll be coming out in the next couple of days. Then I'm going to have some Injustice 2 videos over the weekend. Sorry, this has kind of been a bit long considering that not that much really happened within the episode. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you in another video. Peace.